Hey guys, Colin with This Is How We Stroll, and this is my wife Molly. We are going to start a new series with you guys called The Modern Mini Farm. We've had a desire for a long time to have a little mini farm. I grew up on one, Molly grew up in the country, and we want our own. So we've been looking for land, and so we're just going to talk through the different things.
And bring you along on the process.
Yeah, and we're normal, average people, so it's not like we're just going to drop a bunch of money and build tomorrow. It's like we have to have that 2, 3, 5 year process of getting there. But we just signed a contract for a piece of land, and we're going to walk you through how that came to be, and then where we intend to go from there, and the things that we're going to build there. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to do this first episode, we'll call them. We'll put them up by episodes. We might do other things, talk about other things, but we wanted to talk to you guys on this first one about the land buying process, because that's kind of been our key thing. We wanted to find the perfect spot. We wanted to find the perfect piece of land, all the different things. So we started with Zillow. That's a simple thing to start with. Mm-hmm. We jumped on our cell phones.
For months.
Yeah. Yeah.
We would get on every day and look at different pieces of land that would pop up, and we would just scour Zillow for hours and hours, just waiting for the perfect spot.
Mm-hmm. And the key thing, I think, was what we could afford, and that was the hard thing, is trying to find something that was awesome but still affordable. And that was probably one of the biggest problems. Same thing when we were searching for our house. It was trying to find the perfect house, the perfect money amount. So there's a lot of things involved in it, and Zillow makes it really easy to sort through and find. Mm-hmm. But we even wanted to go down to a certain school district and things like that, so that our kids could play the sports that, like Molly, we wanted to go to New Richmond School District, which is where Molly grew up and went, and Molly's mom teaches there, so we have some relationships there that we want to maintain. And so if our kids end up going there, or if they homeschool, they can be in that school district and play sports and things like that, because we really like that.
Yeah, so our first tip, know where you're looking and know your budget.
Yeah, for sure. You got to set those and kind of know that, and know what you can afford. Otherwise, if you see a 100-acre plot of land and you're like, man, I really want to buy this, then you don't have to feel like you're stretching yourself. But if you know you have $10K, $30K, $60K to invest in a piece of land, that allows you to sift that out and not even look at the other stuff, so you don't have stars in your eyes. How long have we been looking, you think?
We've been seriously looking probably for 6 months or so, but we've had our eye out for at least a year, knowing that we've wanted to buy land and eventually build on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've been looking for quite a while. Probably gazing for a couple of years, just thinking about what we want to do.
And that helped too, just knowing, figuring out what we wanted and figuring out how to search and just narrowing it down.
And also figuring out whether we wanted to build. Where we kind of lean towards building because we have ties to a pretty good home builder. But, buying a home, what we bought here was a turnkey home, which was great. Walk in, don't have a lot of problems to fix, and that's attractive, but also home building is really attractive to us, because it's you can customize what you want, which is amazing. So now we're in the place with buying this new piece of land where we can just wait until we can afford what we want, and then build out little things that we'll take you along with on the...
So let's talk about what type of land we personally wanted and how we kind of decided on that kind of land.
Yeah, so the things that we wanted, so right now we live in a kind of a dome. Our house is on top of a mini hill, and so we're on a corner lot, which is really nice, but a lot of the land is sloped, and so there's barely anywhere to put a playground.
By land, he means half an acre. We live in a subdivision.
Yeah, we live in a subdivision with the coolest neighbors around, more interesting neighbors around. And it's really hard on the piece of land, the small piece of land that we have, to put anything. We have one strip of garden on a kind of angled spot, and we have a playhouse on another little tiny spot, and we have probably 20 more square feet of flat land to work with. And Molly's family has a house where they live, her parents, and they have a lot of slope land, and it's hard to work with sometimes. It's really cool. It looks neat. But we wanted lots of flat land. That's one of the things. What other stuff did we want?
Another thing we really wanted was woods and maybe a creek, which maybe wasn't a priority, but just something. I know you grew up with a creek in your backyard and you love that. My grandparents both have creeks in their backyard. And as a kid, that's just the best place to play and learn. Just go down in the creek and throw rocks and splash around and accidentally fall in. So that's just something we always dreamed about having for our kids to grow up with. So that was another thing.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to find crawdads in the creek and build forts in the woods, and nobody cares there, like in a subdivision. If you have a pile of crud on the side of your house, which we do, people look by and they're like, man, who lives there? Like, so it kind of gives
you
you
want a place to hide your junk.
I do. I want a place to hide my junk.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I'm going to dig a hole in the back and I'm going to pour my junk in it. Other stuff was close to Molly's family, but not like moving far away from my family. We're about an hour away from my family, and right now we're just like 2 or 3 minutes away from Molly's family, and we go there quite a bit for like Pizza Fridays and things like that. So yeah, we'll come back in a minute. Oh, we just got a call from my sister and she ignored it, so take that. But close to family, and so that was another thing we were looking for. And we found this kind of plot of land. So I'll show you some pictures here as I'm talking, and Molly's talking. But we found this sweet spot, 5.5 acres, 2 parcels of land that we had looked at for a while. And we looked at it a little bit ago, and it was a little too high priced for us. And we just said, no, we can't do that right now. So that was one of the, like, a key thing of being really realistic is like we just couldn't. Because you have to also like weigh what you have in the bank and be wise with that, and just know you have to have an emergency fund and things like that if you can. So we found the spot. You can tell them a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so it's actually right across from my grandparents' farm, which is awesome. And my parents actually just bought 40 acres from my grandparents that is like family land. And so my parents are working on building a house there, and it's right across from that. So we're really excited to be close to family, but not necessarily on family land. While that's important to us, we're just not completely ready to build our forever home. And if we're going to build our forever home...
Yeah, family land is not the place to do it. Say, hey, we want to change something, that kind of stuff. So it would be a little hard. And then also, too, if it wasn't a forever home, like selling that to some stranger just wouldn't work. So then it would sit empty, and that would just be a weird situation.
Yeah, so this will be a great next step for us, just to still be very, very close to family, be able to walk right across the road to get to them, and
be able to swim in their pool whenever we want to, eat their food. They don't know that yet, but it's going to happen. But yeah, the parcel that we have is really long and thin. It's 200 feet wide and like almost 1,200 or a little bit more deep. So we have like a little ravine we're going to have to work on crossing, and we'll show you guys that process, what we have to do, because we can't just like fill it with dirt. We want to make sure it's like it's just easy to drive across and safe to drive across, and it's going to be probably a pretty long driveway that we're going to have to like piece out to make sure we can afford it. Where we put the house, we'll want to talk with you guys about all the different stuff, like things. What does our daughter want most?
She wants the house to be pink.
She wants the house to be pink. She wants chickens. That's her main thing right now. Yeah,
my cousin has chickens, and when we went to Vermont to visit them last year, and Blake just fell in love with the chickens. So since then, she's been talking about making a chicken coop and going to the store and getting chickens, and she apparently wants to raise them by herself. She's 3, so she would need our help, but we just don't have the space for them in our house now. So she's really, really excited to get this property and build her chicken coop that's pink. pink
Yeah.
chicken coop.
I don't know if it's all gonna be pink, but maybe we'll do a tiny little pink chicken coop. But she wants us to move tomorrow. She's ready to have chickens and run around the farm and run around our mini farm. And so, I mean, there's all sorts of different things, and we'll talk through these later with you guys. Like, we want bees, and we want a cool fire pit, and like
A big garden.
yeah.
That's my dream.
So we'll do another video sometime of things that we want and talk about why we want them, and then we'll walk you through the process of creating them. And like and this is another thing is I see a lot of these farmhouse videos, and the husband is really handy. I am not handy. I am working on it, and I'm working on it diligently. But you're gonna see a lot of smushed thumbs probably and things like that. And we'll show you guys everything. And I think it'll be kind of a fun go between. Is I think a lot of these people. It's hard because I think a lot of people have a lot of money and we just don't right now. And we're going to do step by step, piece by piece, and you guys can do it with us. Go find a piece of land and do it with us too, and show us your progress along the way too. Mm-hmm. We'll show you ours. But we're really excited. The plot of land that we found, we didn't talk about it either, is really kind of flat and then it slopes off in the back. So it's kind of got a happy in-between of everything.
So it's a field up front, and then it goes back into the woods, and then the woods drops down into a creek. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, and it really is the perfect plot of land that we have been looking for and we waited for, and I'm really glad we didn't jump the gun on any other properties we kind of looked at, because this just really is the perfect spot, and we're really excited.
Checks all the boxes.
Yeah, so we signed the contract this morning, and we have to wait for the title to go through. And what else is next on that?
Like title insurance. We did end up hiring a lawyer to handle like the final details. We didn't use a realtor. That saved us quite a bit of money on fees and allowed us to win out. We actually were in not a bidding war, but there were other people that wanted the property, and they had realtors, which there would be fees and things. And I think that's one of the things that helped us win that situation. We were hiring a lawyer for the other stuff because I tried it. I tried to look and do the research on how to do everything, but I couldn't wrap my mind around the process of what goes in what order and things like that. So hiring somebody to make sure all those boxes are checked and there's no problems gives me a lot of peace of mind, and it really wasn't that expensive. So that's the next couple weeks is figuring out. They're going to check the background of the title and all those things to make sure it actually checks out. And then we'll have a closing date here in a couple weeks. And once we're closed, we'll do another video, and we'll do a couple over the next couple weeks talking about our ideas and plans and things like that. But in 2 weeks, and we'll close and we'll show you the property. We'll walk it and
take you along with us.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So if you're interested in following along with the journey, subscribe, all the typical things, comment along, and we'll comment back to you guys. We're really excited.
You guys can help us out with stuff that we don't know. So
yeah, make suggestions.
Share your tips.
Maybe we'll do some polls and things like that, so you can help us vote on a different color for the chicken coop. So yeah, make suggestions. We're going to be working with you guys to kind of show the journey, and we're excited to do it. We are not YouTubers and video people, so we might be a little nervous or we might talk a little too much. So we're here and we're excited for it. So like I said, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.